So let's bring in legal analyst and attorney Misty Marris. Misty, so great to see you. First of all, how significant is it that Sonya Massey's death has already been ruled a homicide? And not only that, but that ruling came so quickly.
It's very, very significant. And a lot of that, Nicole, is because the tape really speaks for itself. We're talking about this body cam footage that shows exactly what happened in that interaction. And so to have that, to move forward with these very, very serious charges, it took away a lot of the guesswork as to what happened when he entered her home. So it really did get into the courtroom and get to those charges very quickly.
Right, and we're actually seeing the body cam from a different deputy there. You know, many times we see a police officer placed on leave after an officer-involved shooting or a deputy. And in this case, Deputy Grayson was fired almost immediately. What does that tell you?
It tells me that it was so clear cut that there was misconduct, lack of judgment in this particular case, that the organization, that the department did not think that they needed to do that aspect of it, Nicole. So there's a lot of rules in place, procedures and policies for each department. And in general, it requires an investigation into what happened before a termination can take place. To your point, there's generally a suspension. But again, this footage being so serious and so consequential resulted in termination immediately as opposed to going through that process. So I think we're seeing the police department's opinion on that based on their actions. And now they're going to have to conduct an internal investigation into how we got here.
You know, and records show that the now former Deputy Grayson was removed from the Army. He had DUIs, multiple. He needed high-stress decision classes. How important is Grayson's record going to be when it comes to the prosecution's case?
What's really going to be looked at is what happened when his employer found out about these issues, or did they find out about them? What was the process for hiring? It's going to be really, really relevant to the civil case. The discharge from the Army, the more specifics about what that included. It was serious misconduct. What does that mean? What efforts were made to find out what that means? You know, there's always going to be this link between the type of conduct that's in someone's past and the duties that they actually have to perform. So something from someone's past might not be relevant at all to their employment, but other issues like that discharge from the Army, that's seriously problematic. Nicole, also, this really, really struck me. This high stress decision-making training that he was required to complete by a prior employer. Well, was his current employer aware of that? And what training did they give him on that front? So all of that is really going to be relevant to this case, both on the civil and criminal side.
You know, and Missy, what do you think will be the biggest obstacles for both the defense and the prosecution? And do you think we'll see a plea deal?
The biggest obstacle for the defense is going to be that justification between the act of that shot. I mean, just so disturbing. And then keep in mind, it didn't end there. There was the failure to perform any life-saving measures. A clear statement that says, she's already gone, don't bother. That just shows a level of intent, and that's what the prosecution is going to argue, a level of intent that goes beyond what you could establish in a self-defense situation. Now, on the flip side, there's always a defense. Even if it doesn't appear to be that there always is a defense. They're going to argue that there was a threat, that boiling hot water was presumably something that could result in serious physical injury. And so there's going to be that argument presented by the defense. But quite frankly, the video is so difficult to get over. I don't know if we'll see a plea deal because of the severity of the conduct, but I imagine defense lawyers would try to do so given the optics of this case just being so horrible.
Yeah, we will certainly see what happens next. Legal analyst and attorney Misty Marris, thank you.
Thank you.